Hello, welcome to the show. Today on the program we have this gentleman, Denis Valcich. Now, you may know him as the Croatian chef, or you may know him as that wonderful Croatian chef that for, I'm going to find out how many years now, it's been way more than a decade, has been returning here to Fremantle, to the Esplanade, to delight people with Croatian food. And not just people who understand Croatian food, people that have explored it for the very first time. I remember the first time I tried it. Denis, it was wonderful. Welcome back. And how many years has it been now?
John, how many years we've been doing this anyway? You and me. This is my 13th year. I can't believe this. Remember 3 years ago I said no more. And look at me. Every year I come in here, they twist my arm.
Every year, because people always want you back. Now, Denis, why do folk love Croatian food so much?
I don't know. Maybe because it's so beautiful, it's different, and but really they support the festival. These people in Fremantle, they really support the festival in a big way. And this is why I'm coming back, because how can you say no when every day of the festival we are almost booked out? I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And John, we now know for sure this is the longest running food and wine festival of any kind or any community in Australia, and I'm very proud of that.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing and it's wonderful. What cultures do you see here? What nationalities do you see at your festival?
Yeah, as I said to you before, at the beginning you were mostly Croatian, but now last 3 or 4 years you got Italian, Maltese, Germans. Germans are coming on Saturday, a couple of tables. So Chinese, Koreans I see. Last year we had a group of them. So it is now, but don't forget that Croatia at the moment is the flavor of a year. We can't say flavor of a day or a month, but the flavor of the year, because you look at every Sunday travel pages of any newspapers in Australia, there is a page full of Croatia.
Come to Croatia, they say.
Yes, and not only that, but itinerary of every huge cruising ship that goes in the Mediterranean, around Mediterranean, it has to stop in Croatia. You just have a look. It's always stopping in Croatia.
Now, describe Croatia a little bit for us. For the tourist, what would we see?
I mean, people already know, John, crystal clear waters, 1,500 kilometers long coastline, 1,082 islands. I mean, unbelievable. So you do island hop. It's a paradise for the yachties, for the boaties. Absolutely fantastic. Still cheap. It's not in European Union yet, so it's pretty cheap. Plenty of seafood. Italians are coming.
Now, will I taste food like yours there, Denis?
Yes, you will. If you go in a tavern
almost
over
as good?
there, or in a hotel, I don't know if it's as good, but it will be pretty similar, and it will be good, right? A friend of mine who lives in Sydney, born in here of Croatian parents, last year bought the biggest and most luxurious hotel in Croatia, Hotel Le Méridien.
Wow, it's a nice friend to have.
Yeah, it's in the chain of Le Méridien now. And it's unbelievable. I was his guest last year. It's unbelievable hotel. You almost soak it's absolutely magnificent in the city of Split. Yeah.
Oh, now Split is a very beautiful part. I know that much of Croatia. If you're going to head to Croatia, make sure you see Split before you split.
And you might even see Ivanisevic walking on a pier there somewhere.
Well, you never know your luck in the big city.
That's what he was born, of course. Yes.
Now, Denis, I can hear a little baby crying in the background. I reckon that's because that poor little child hasn't sampled your delicious food yet. Now, what happens when people try it for the first time, like the many Aussies that'll be coming along?
Yeah, Aussies are now traveling to Croatia in a big way, especially the younger Aussies. Before they used to come in here at the first, when we start the festival, to taste the Croatian food and to see all these beautiful pictures we have in a restaurant in Esplanade and all that. But now they know a little bit more about it. So if they were on holidays and enjoy the food and they didn't go for a couple of years, then they come in here to sort of renew their experience and try some of the food.
Well, I want to try some of the food, Denis. That's absolutely what I do. That's serious. I want to try some of the food. After the break, we're going to see Denis cook a wonderful meal. And what will it be, Denis?
We might do stuffed pork stubica with a slivovitz sauce.
Well, that sounds lovely, and I think it might cheer up our little friend in the background too. I think our little friend wants.
We'll give us some risotto to keep her quiet. Yes.
That's coming up right after the break. Denis, our chef, Denis Valcich, will be here cooking that beautiful meal. Come on back. Welcome back to the program. Dennis is here, Dennis Valcich, our super chef. And Dennis, I reckon to make that wonderful meal, it's time that we got you to the kitchen.
Yeah, okay, let's go and make that beautiful dish. So John, let's get started with this recipe, okay, with this dish, all right? And we are doing stuffed pork stubica. What you do first, you buy a pork fillet, preferably as thick as possible because you're going to stuff it, right? Then you get a small sharp knife, right? And you have to remove the silver skin, right? Very easy, all right? Just watch your fingers, just like that. Put it under the skin and just glide the knife, right? Because that's a tough part. It's a tough piece of skin, right? And you are just about finished because there is hardly any fat on this fillet. Now, if the fillet is long, like this, I suggest you cut it in half because it's going to be much easier for you to stuff it, and you can go deep inside to stuff it, right? Okay, so what you do now is put your hand on a fillet, your left hand. You insert the knife in the middle and just slowly make a pocket. Be very careful not to split the sides, otherwise the juice and everything will run away. So you do the same thing in here, right? You put your hand on a fillet, knife inside, and just make 1, 2, 3 movements sort of thing, and you got a pocket, right? All right, put it on the side. Now, we're going to stuff the prunes, okay? Take the prune, put the knife inside, and just swerve a little bit to make room for pieces of little butter cubes. Okay, now, why are we putting butter inside the prawn? Simple. While the pork is cooking in the oven, the butter will burst inside the prawn and it will moisten inside of the fillet. Fantastic idea. All right, so there, I'll do one more. Okay, I'll do one more. A little knob of butter, push it inside slowly. There, that's it, done. We're going to stuff the pork fillet now with the stuffed prawns. All right, so put one with one finger all the way down, as far as you can go, or as far as as deep as the pocket is. 1, say 2, 3, I will say 4. Easy. Look, just push the prunes inside. All right, 2, 3 in here. Lovely. There we are. Okay. Now we're going to start to pan fry the fillet. After we do that, we'll put them in the oven for 10 or 15 minutes, okay? So let's do that now, all right? We'll remove the board. We'll put the gas on. We'll put a little bit of vegetable oil. Sunflower, peanut oil is okay. You can mix it with a touch of virgin olive oil, but I don't suggest you cook in a pure virgin olive oil. I tend to keep away from frying in olive oil. Olive oil is, I like olive oil in salads and things like raw, but or if you have to use it for the flavor, mix it with vegetable oil. I don't think especially virgin olive oil, I don't think you should, especially the quick frying. It's too strong, John. I'd rather you use mixture or just a light olive oil. And we're gonna sort of baste the fillet. Okay. See, if the oil and pan is not hot, it might stick a bit, so maybe I put it a bit too premature, but that's okay, that's fine, no problem. I don't see any problem. Now leave it like that. I would say, as long as you baste it, or what would you call it, give them a little bit of the brownish or skin on each side, right? And then you put it in the oven, because there is no way that you can cook a thick fillet like this just in a pan fry. You can't, because it's going to be raw inside, right? Okay, almost ready to turn. All right, beautifully sizzling. And then, of course, after we cook the fillet, we're going to make a slivovic sauce. Of course, the famous Croatian plum brandy, rocket fuel, or whatever you call it, John, but traditional brandy in Croatia. And then we make a nice, beautiful, nice sauce with it to go with it. Okay, here we are. See, already we got a color. Already we got nice color. It doesn't take long. You can use any sort of. I mean, even non-stick pan will be very good for this. You can put 1 or 3 or 4 fillets. Depends how big your family is, of course. But you'll see later on when we are slicing it, it will gonna be absolutely beautiful, because it's gonna be sort of whitish meat, and the prawns are black. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful appearance on a plate that when we're going to serve it. Okay, we'll finish one more. All right. Just about. Okay, the butter inside the prawn will not burst as yet, right? That will happen in the oven, right? So what you do now, what we're going to do now, we're going to take it back to the kitchen, and then when we put it in the oven, of course at home you just put it in underneath your oven or wherever your oven is, say on 180 Celsius for, I would say, a fillet of this size, if you want it nice and sort of pinkish medium, about 10 minutes, right? And if you want it a little bit more well done, 15 minutes, right? It should be enough, right? I think now we are, look at that, that's absolutely beautiful, right? We just even get some little bit of flame. Luckily, John didn't get your camera, but all right. Now we're going to transfer this in a hot oven, right, for about 10 minutes. And when we come back, we'll make a beautiful sauce, and we'll slice it, and then we'll display it, and you can see how beautiful dish it is, okay? Sizzling, see? All right, so what we're going to do now is going to rest it a little bit while we make a sauce, okay? Look at that beautiful pork fillet. Meat should rest, depends on the size, but I think the meat is, because then it holds in the juices and the blood and then things like that, instead of running all over the place, right, if you're resting it. Not much, I mean 5 minutes will do for this size, but 5, 10, 15 minutes if it's a larger piece. Okay, we're going to do the sauce by just adding a few of the chopped prawns, right? A few of the chopped prawns. Right, pan is very hot, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add some of the Croatian plum brandy or slivovic, right? Okay, we just put some of the slivovic sauce. Right. Okay, that's fine. That's lovely. Okay, we got rid of the alcohol, and of course we're going to add some of the liquid cream, all right, and a little bit of parsley. Okay, you can always put just a knob or small knob or two of butter as well, just to thicken the sauce. Butter will thicken your sauce, right? Nothing else, and give you texture. There we are. I think that's now done. We'll turn the gas off, right, completely, right? And we'll leave it here, right? We'll leave it here, and we're gonna slice it now. You can use the same bowl, but just make sure you turn it on the other side. Never use the same board for raw and cooked meat. Very dangerous, all right? So just turn it over, or just get rid of it and get another one. So, okay, on a clean board, we're going to slice the pork. Let's see. You see how the butter inside the prunes gave you some beautiful sauce. So what we're gonna do, we're going to return it here. This is liquid gold, right? That's a liquid gold, right? Okay, there. Now let's see. Ah, yes. Look at that, John. Medium rare, or just just medium. Look at this, sort of grey pork and a black prunes. What a beautiful, colourful dish. I can smell sort of pork juices, and I can smell prune, and also absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Now, what are we gonna do is this. Oh, it's so tender, John. Look how tender it is, John. Look how tender it is. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this dish, right there. I might even put a tile in here, right? Now we're going to put a sauce in. Where's my spoon? Okay, now. This, how nicely aroma, the slivovic. Well, you can get the drunk in the same time as you eating. Look at that. Absolutely. If you want some more sauce, there is no problem. Just put a little bit more cream inside, or even a little bit of chicken stock while you're doing the sauce, right? So what you do now, we'll just put a little bit of garnish. Do any vegetables you like, or even a steamed rice, John, will be very nice. Okay, they're blanched. What else you can do, this is only for television now, right? But you can put a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, nothing else, and just in a frying pan, just tossing in a frying pan after you blanch it. But you can use broccoli, you can use or a little bit fettuccine or steamed rice. Doesn't really matter, right? But that's John. Now tell me, isn't that magnificent Croatian stuffed pork stubica? Stubica is a small village not far from the capital Zagreb.
Oh, Dennis, not only did that smell great, it was delicious.
It was a beautiful dish, wasn't it, John? Absolutely beautiful and different. And it's traditional from the little village not far from the capital called Stubica.
Now, are we going to have that on the festival that's up and running?
Absolutely, we're going to have that dish on a festival, and one after this one. Festival opened last...
Yeah, it's already
night.
on. It's on.
Festival opened last night, grand opening last night, every Friday, or every time on Friday, right? With all dignitaries and all that. And of course, we are going till every day to Sunday, the 24th of this month. Right.
All right, so you heard it first. Get on down. Yeah. And will you be here every night?
I will be here every night welcoming people, but I suggest, especially on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Sunday, the busiest day, to book. Please book, right?
Good advice.
Yes.
Hey, Dennis, after the break, can you stick around?
Definitely, I will be my pleasure.
Welcome back to the program. Oh, Dennis, I'm full. I'm right. I've had my beautiful meals, and I had a lot of that too. And I've had my lovely coffee here at the Esplanade. Dennis.
And I had a beautiful lemon squash.
Yeah, good for you too. That was very nice too. Make sure you floss.
I'm on duty, so I can't drink any alcohol, unfortunately.
You've been doing something rather prestigious in the last 12 months. Tell us about some of that.
John, I'm very, very proud what happened in the last 12 months. I had a busy year. First, I went to Croatia, and I was there with the Australian ambassador in September. And she asked me if I would like to come back and represent Australia in January on the Australian Day for the Australian Week in Croatia. That's the first time ever that we had a Croatian Week in Australia.
Good for you.
So I said yes.
Good for Croatia.
Yes, and good for, we really done a good job. We cook for a lot of people. I was with the Descendants, if you heard of them. They are Aborigine group that goes around the world and dance and all that. So I was part of with them. Australian Australian wines from South Australia and the short Australian film. So we had a fantastic Australian week. But what I was very proud to be invited by the Australian ambassador to represent Australia in a cuisine, of course. But in February, a lot of Australian people probably saw it. We had a Croatian show on SBS called Food Safari. It took me 3 years to beg my dear friend Mervo Mera to include us in the safari, and she did. And I tell you what, it was a fantastic show we done in February. It was show number 6, and the Croatian cuisine was on the Food Safari.
And so that's available on DVD too, I think.
Yes, and I think they're going to repeat it very soon, so you can watch it again.
And if it's cold, they'll reheat it.
Yeah, so as I said, I had a busy 12 months, very very big year I had as far as that's concerned, and I relaunched my sauces, my 4 beautiful sauces, which you can buy here I brought some, I shipped some from Sydney here at the festival.
Yeah, so that's a great way to get Dennis to be a chef at home, isn't it?
Chef at home, my sauces, chef at home sauces, yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Now, Dennis, why do you love cooking? I mean, anyone can put food together. Why do you actually? I mean, you really love it. Why?
John, I made a lot of interviews in Canada and America and in Europe and in here, and every time the answer is the same. Unless you love cooking, you have to be born to love cooking. You can forget it. You can't be good chef. You can go to half a dozen top chef schools around the world, Switzerland or wherever, but you will never be a good chef unless you put your heart, body and soul and you really enjoy cooking, and you must be born to be a chef. I don't care what anybody says, right? I don't care how many times you go to the college and which college, but if you don't like it, if your heart is not there, I mean, I love cooking. Makes me, I feel like younger, and I'm not tired even if I do 14-year shift or whatever, because I love to do it. Like you love your job, you have to love.
I love to eat your food.
Yeah, well, that too. But you must love what you do. You must love cooking. You must love food. Otherwise, forget it.
Good answer, Dennis. Good answer. Now, if there's some information that you'd like more of, if you'd like to find out more, here's how you do it.
John loves to receive your letters and emails, so send your letter to Post Office Box 6721 East Perth 6892, or you can email. Maybe even view his website. Back to you, John.
And it's that easy. Now, Dennis, just before we run right out of time, most important question, are you going to come back for the 14th record time?
You should know better than that, John. You ask me that every year. What is the answer? I don't know. I suppose I can say yes to you, John.
You heard it first. Exclusive. He will be back.
Thank you very much, John.